Welcome to the Wyrdd and Wonderful channel. Thanks for joining me. Today we're presenting a folk horror story, Leviathan. In the northern reaches of the world there lies an island, isolated and enigmatic. Its cliffs rise like jagged teeth from the churning sea, and its forests are dense and shadowed. The locals, a hardy and superstitious folk, speak in hushed tones of something ancient that dwells within the heart of the island. They call it the Leviathan of the woods, a creature of immense size and unspeakable horror. Legend tells that it has roamed the island since time immemorial, a relic of a forgotten age when the world was young and wild. It is said that the creature only awakens from its slumber once every century, ravenous and relentless in its hunt. As this tale begins, the island is gripped by a palpable sense of dread. The Leviathan's centennial awakening is nigh, and the villagers prepare for a night of terror. They bolt their doors, nail the shutters closed, huddle together, and whisper prayers to ancient deities, hoping to be spared from the beast's hunger. A young scholar named Eleanor arrived on the island the day before, drawn by the legends and eager to uncover the truth behind the myth. Despite warnings from the locals, she ventures into the dense woods, armed only with her curiosity and a small flickering lantern. As night falls, the forest comes alive with eerie sounds, the rustling of leaves, the creaking of ancient trees, and a low, rumbling growl that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere. Eleanor presses on, determined to find the heart of the mystery. She continues on, venturing farther into the primordial forest as the sounds grow louder and lantern grows dim. Finally, in a clearing bathed in moonlight, she comes face to face with the Leviathan. It is a creature beyond her wildest imaginings. Massive serpentine covered in scales that glimmer like molten silver. Its eyes, deep and intelligent, lock onto hers, and for a moment time stands still. The Leviathan, sensing her insignificance in the grand tapestry of the universe, merely gazes at her with a mix of curiosity and ancient wisdom. Then, with a sound like thunder, it slithers away into the darkness, disappearing into the depths of the forest. Eleanor returns to the village, her mind swirling with wonder and fear. She knows that she has witnessed something extraordinary, a remnant of a world that once was, a world of mysteries and terrors now long forgotten. Once back in the village, she knocks on one door, then the next, but to no avail. None of the villagers will open their door. As she bangs upon the doors, the low growl grows closer, and she realizes her life is in desperate peril. She tries one more door, the last house on the dirt road. There is not answer initially, and as she turns to leave, her arm is caught by a cold, vice-like grip, and she is pulled into the cottage. The door slams shut behind her. She stands facing a giant of a man, and standing next to him is a demure, aged woman. Both put their fingers to their lips in whisper shh to Eleanor. The old woman points to a chair by the fireplace. Eleanor nods and sits down. The old woman sits down next to her as the huge man leans against the barred door. "It's coming," the old woman whispers to Eleanor. "I saw it," Eleanor whispers back. The man and the women stare at Eleanor in disbelief. "I was in the forest and I saw it," she said to the old women. "And it let you live?" the old woman asked. "Yes, it looked at me and went away." The old woman and man exchanged glances. "Then you must be a witch," the old woman said, her eyes growing larger. "If it let you live, you must be a witch." No, I'm no witch. I'm a graduate student from a lawn college. I just came to see if the legend was true. I am doing a paper." "No, Ma's right. It wouldn't have let you live if you were normal." The man pointed his rifle at Eleanor. In his hands, the rifle looked like a toy. "No, I'm telling you, I'm just a normal girl. I don't know why it let me live. I think I surprised it. You folks, from what I have read, never venture into the forest. Is that right?" "No." nobody from the village would go in there. Another low growl was heard, much closer than before. It's drawing closer. She can't stay here, Ma, the old man said. I know, son. But we can't turn her out in the night. But she's a witch. It won't hurt her. I told you I'm not a witch, and stop pointing that damn gun at me. Eleanor jumped out of her chair and ran to the nearest window. Peering through the boards, she tried to see out on the road. The moonlight bathed the dirt road in an eerie golden hue. As fog started rolling in, its density hugging the road. You can't stay here, said the huge man as he grabbed her and unbolted the door at the same time. He threw Eleanor out with such force she landed in a heap on the ground. Eleanor rose and banged on the door. Go away! Go hide before it gets here! The old woman cried through the door. Eleanor backed away. The fog was socked in now, and yet the growl was drawing nigh. Eleanor ran to the barn across the road. The door was unlocked. She pushed the heavy door open and slid inside, closing it behind her. The barn was dank and smelled musty. She found stairs leading to the hayloft and climbed up. There was a loading door at the front of the barn and she peered out. The Leviathan was coming down the road. Wider than the thoroughfare, it was uprooting trees and hedges as he slithered down to the last house. It stood up on its back legs and for a moment looked in the direction of the barn door. It locked eyes with Eleanor and then in an instant had knocked down the house door and was devouring the giant manhole. The old woman screamed and hid behind her chair. The Leviathan looked at her for only a second before turning and disappearing down the road and into the fog-ridden night. Eleanor sat in the barn loft and waited for dawn. Once the fog had lifted, she crawled down and exited the barn. She glanced at the broken door across the street as the old woman stared at her. Witch, was all she muttered. Eleanor walked down to the pier where her boat waited patiently. But as she sailed away from the island, she could feel a cold shiver down her spine. For she knew that the Leviathan still lurked in the shadows of the woods, waiting, watching, a timeless predator in a world that had moved on. Thus the tale of the Leviathan of the woods endures, a chilling reminder of the ancient and unknowable forces that lie hidden in the dark, far corners of our world. Thanks for watching, and if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. And check out my books on Amazon. Be seeing you!